Guys, welcome back to my channel. So in this video I'm going to show you guys how to make this dress. Someone sent it to me, but I feel like the part that she has a problem with is the neckline, how to get the neckline. So most of my focus on this video is going to be on how to get that collar with the v-neck. So this is what I'm working with. So I've cut out my fabric. This is the first part here. Okay, what I'm going to be using here is less than 3 yards of fabric. So I have this fabric folded into 2, and I have the second one also folded into 2. The one on top here is just my bust divided by 4 plus 1, and then the one at the back will have zipper allowance, which has like 1.5 or 1 inch. This to here is like my half length, which is 17.5 plus 1 inch. What I have here is 18.5, right? My half length is 17.5, but that is my shoulder to my waist is 17.5, and then I added 1 inch to it, 18.5. So let me write it out here. So this dress is going to be 38 inches of length, right? I'm going to subtract 17.5 from it, which is my half length, my shoulder to my waist. What I'm left with is going to be 20.5, right? So this 20.5 is going to be the length of the bottom, the flare at the bottom, right? So now the next thing I'm going to do is to go ahead and insert my shoulder measurement divided by 2, which is 8. And then on this point here, I'm going to go ahead and mark 1 inch of shoulder slope. And then I'm going to insert armhole divided by 2, which you can get by also dividing your bust measurement by 6 plus 1.5. So wherever that is, you're going to mark a straight line and then connect it all the way to the top here, right? Mine is not straight. Let me connect it better. So guys, now that the armhole is marked, the next thing I'm going to insert here is the bust divided by 4, which is here. And then I'm going to add like 1.5 inch of sewing allowance here. And then I'm going to go down to the waist and also do the same thing. The waist divided by 4, which is at 9. And then I'm going to insert about 1 inch of seam allowance. Sorry, 1.5 of seam allowance, because it's 1.5 I also used here. And then 1 inch of darting. So that is going to be 2.5. I'm going to go ahead and mark it. So now I'm going to connect from here to this point, right? And then the next thing I'm going to do is to also give it a curve by this armhole here. And then I'm going to go up to the neckline here. And then I'm going to mark 3 inches for this neckline, neck width. And then connect from here to here. And then mark 1 inch for this neckline here. But this is going to be for the back neckline. Just like that. And mark 3 inches for the front neckline. The darts here, all I have to do is just to go down here and mark nipple to nipple divided by 2, which is 4, plus half an inch, 4.5. From the shoulder to where the nipple line is, which is at 12, 1 inch below that is 13. So this is where my front dart is going to stop. All the way from this point here straight, half an inch on this side, and then half an inch on this other side for this one here. But then the back dart is going to be on this same spot, here, but it's going to go all the way to the chest line, which is this line here, the chest line. So my back dart is still going to remain at this same point here, but it's going to extend all the way to this line, my chest line. So I'm going to still go ahead and draw that in, but in the meantime, let me go ahead and cut out all these parts down, shoulder slope, neck. So guys, you see I cut out 3 inches for the front neckline, this part here, the shoulder slope, this part, the side, and then here. And then the next thing I did is for the back panel, you see I've gone ahead and marked the darts for the back, which is this here, and it's going to be on the 2 sides of the back. Another thing I did was to go up here 1 inch by the center part where the zipper is supposed to be, and then I came up 1 inch here and then connected it into the side. So now I'm going to go ahead and cut this off, because you know your back is shorter than your back half length is shorter than the front, so it's always good to remove it. So let me go ahead and cut this now. So guys, this is what we have now. So we are going to go ahead and make the changes on the neckline, and also go ahead and remove half an inch from the front armhole. I've done everything I need to do for the back, nothing else left. So all I need to do now is to remove like half an inch from this armhole in front, just like this, blend it in like this. And then for the front neckline, it depends on you. You can measure from your shoulder to where you want the V to be. So let's say you want it to be at maybe 8.5. I don't know how deep you would want yours to be. That's from this point here to 8.5. And then what you're going to do next is just to go ahead and connect it just like that. If you want, you can use the curve part of your ruler and then just mark from this point here all the way to this point. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this out now. So guys, this is done. So let me tell you how you're going to cut the bottom part now. So guys, like I told you before, my dress length is 38, right? And then I said my half length, that is my dress length from here to this point, that's from my shoulder to this point, is 38. And then I said my half length, which is my shoulder to the waist, this point is 17.5, right? And then that means the rest of this point here from the waist to the end of the dress is 20.5. So this 20.5 now, it depends on you. Like I said, it has 2 layers here. So I'm going to just divide it into 2. I'm going to do 10 inches for the first layer, 10.5 for the second layer. You understand? So 10 inches is the length I'm using for this part. 10.5 is the length I'm using for the lower one. So that's, I'm not going to focus much on this tiered part because I've done it several times. So for this first part now, to the layer, you're going to add to that 10 inches or whatever you decide as the length of this, add 1 inch to it so that you can use half an inch of it to join the upper part, half an inch of it to join the lower part. So I've cut it out. What I have here is 11 inches is what I have as the length here from this point to this point. I'm going to use half an inch at the top of it here to join the upper part, half an inch here to join the lower girder. This is going to be that will leave me with 10 inches when I'm done. Right now is 11, but if I take away this half here, I'm left with 10 when I'm done. And then the second layer here, you see, is longer than the first one just by a little. It's 10.5, but to this one I added half an inch to join this part to this one here, another half an inch to join these two together, and then I have about 1 inch here to fold the end because this is the end here. You see, I have 1 inch to fold the end here because this is the one facing the floor, so you need to fold it like the end of your clothes, right? So that is what I have here. But then how you're going to calculate the width is just basically round the waist measurement. That's how you're going to get the width of what you're going to use to make the girder. So it's basically round the waist measurement times 2, or you can do times 2.5. Whatever you get. So let's say round the waist measurement times 2.5 and you got 70 for the first layer. That is what let's say your waist is I don't know, maybe 30 inches. So you do times 2.5. Round your waist is 30. You do times 2.5. Let's say you got 70. I know it might not be 70. I'm just saying, let's say you got 70 when you multiply these two. That 70 is the width of the girder of this first layer. And then 11 inches is the width, is the length of it. Then the next thing is going to be how you're going to calculate the width for the second layer. That's how much fabric you will need for the girder of the second layer. You just need to do this same 70 times it again by 2.5. So whatever you get from this one, you're going to times it, whatever you get. So let's say you multiply that 70 by 2.5 and then you get 175. 175 is the width of the second layer. And like I said, the length here is going to still be that my 10.5 that I decided to use plus 1.5. So guys, the next thing I'm going to do is this neckline now. I'm going to go ahead and cut facing for it, right? So I'm going to cut a facing for this neckline here. And then the next thing I'm going to do after that is to go ahead and pick my darts, 2 darts on this side here. And then do the same thing for the back. I'm also going to go ahead and pick darts at the back here, 2 of the sides here, all the way to the chest line. So that's what I'm going to do first. And then we'll come back here and deal with the rest of the neckline. So guys, as you can see, I went ahead and traced out this neckline on a lining. So this is the lining here. So if I open this up now, you see, and then if you look at it, you see that I came down from the shoulder and marked like 3 inches from the tip of this shoulder to 3 inches. You can do 2.5, it depends on you, but 3 inches is okay for me because I just know that I'm going to take away half an inch from the shoulder here to join it to the back. So there's still going to be half an inch removed from this here to join it to the shoulder at the back on both sides, right? When I go to join it, like when I go to sew this now, I'm still going to use half an inch to join it shoulder to shoulder. So that's why I did 3 inches down from that point. And then what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take my lining just this way, and then I'm going to sew it from that point. This point here, this my 3 inches from this line here is where I'm going to start my stitch, just on this side, and then on this side here, and then I'm going to sew it all the way, come down on this V and go back up. So this is what I'm going to sew here, using like just this much of seam allowance to sew it, go down here and then come back up on this other side, just like that. And I'm going to stop here. I'm not going to sew it all the way to the top. So guys, the way it is now, you see I've notched everything out like this. So the next thing I'm going to do is just to flip this over and then iron it. So the way it is now, I'm going to turn it inside now, and then I'm going to iron this out. So guys, you see what I did here? So let me show you what I did. So when I got to this part here, I trimmed off the excess and just went in, like notched this part a little. You see that this part came out a little bit from after the, see where I wanted to stop here. I marked my chalk that I'll stop here 3 inches from this point down. I trimmed the excess, like 1/4 of an inch is what is left here. But you see this part here still has up to 1/2 inch here. You see, you would notice the length difference from here. I just trimmed it off. You see, this is where this one stops. Let me show you. You see, this is where this one stops, but you can still see bits of this cloth coming up at the top part of this here, this place here. See, this part here, and then I trimmed off the excess here, notched this one down like this a little. I still have the same length of fabric here, but I reduced it on this side. So now what I'm going to do is that part that is left here, I'm going to push it out like this. You see what I'm doing here? I'm going to push it out here because this bit here is going to enter inside the collar. So you see what I did here? The rest are folded inside of this here, but this part here is like this. You understand? So the same thing is going to happen on this other side here. You see, I stopped here and I double stitched it here. I double stitched this seam here when it came up to this 3 inches line here. I double stitched it. So now you see the same thing on this side. So let me push this out so you guys can also see it on this side here. You see, this is what it looks like. So if you look here now, you see this part here coming out on this side. These two parts here, you see this one came out here like this, and then this one came out here like this. You see those two sides. So now what I'm going to do is just to first take my shoulder here on this side, join it using 1/2 inch, take my shoulder on this other side here. I'm also going to join it here using 1/2 inch, and then we'll come back and use the band to complete the rest. So guys, you see I've done one side, and this is what I did here. If you look at it, you see I've done one side here. So I'm going to show you how I did it. So what I did is just first get fabric that is 4 inches of width, fold it into 2, right, and then close up one end. But when you go to close it up, don't close it up like entirely, like straight like this. Come in 1/2 inch from one edge like this, and then just give it a curve coming down. You understand? Just go like you're giving it a curve like this. So I'm going to just sew this down now. So now that I've sewn this here, I'm going to flip it over to the other side, right? And then now the next thing I'm going to do is, right, like I said, this the few and like this 1/2 inch that I left here, now I'm going to just take it to sew this together. So let me bring it out well so you guys can see. So now what I'm going to do is from that point, let me open it up. So from this point now, you see, I'm going to take that collar, and then I'm going to go to this end here, tuck in 1/2 inch here. So I'm going to tuck in 1/2 inch on this side here, tuck in 1/2 inch on the other end of this collar, like fold it in like this, and then I'll have something that looks like this. And then just like this, I'm going to go to this end here, fix this inside of this here, this 1/2 inch here, fix it inside of this band like this. You see, from where this seam ends here and this one started like this, I just insert this inside of this part here, just like this, and then I'm going to sew it all the way towards the back. So guys, this is what I have right now. You see, I've done it on both sides here. So I still have room for my zipper allowance because everything started from where my zipper is supposed to be, right? So my zipper is still going to fit in at the center back here. So now it's just to add the armhole. I've also picked my dart on all 4 sides, like the 2 sides of the back, the 2 sides of the front. So now for this sleeve, all I did was just to measure what I have as my armhole here, and that's the width of my fabric. But I think you should make yours more puffy. This is just a basic sleeve that I'm going to be adding here. insert elastic at the bottom part and make it a little puffy at the top. But if you want to make this particular sleeve on the thumbnail, it's like a funnel sleeve, right? So you have to draft your pattern, slash it, and then spread it out to cut out that part, that type of sleeve, and add a little puff to the top part here. But like I said, the tutorial was mostly just for the upper part here, but I'll link a video on how to cut this sleeve because I have it on my channel already, right? So let me just go ahead and cut this one here. So the length I have here is about 17.5. I'm going to come down here at least 2 inches for the puffiness, and then I'm going to come down here 4 inches for my cap height, and then the next thing is just going to be just the length here. So now the next thing I'm going to do is this is the part with the fold here. I'm going to connect in a straight line from this point here to this point. Find halfway through that line, which is at 6. Give it a curve below like this, and then the upper one, I'm going to just curve it into the upper part of this puffiness here, the part for the puffy sleeve, just like that. And that is it. So every other thing will be left the way it is. This part here will be folded with 1.5 to make casing for my elastic. So let me go ahead and cut from here all the way to the top. So guys, this is it here. So all I have to do is to first go ahead, make a casing for elastic at the end here, and then this upper part here, I cut 2 at the same time. So there are 2 sleeves here, right? There are 2 of them here. So all I have to do is, like, this upper part of this sleeve here, the way it is now, I'm going to just gather it a little at this top part here, gather it like this, and then stitch it all the way to the top here, and then spread out the rest of this part of the sleeve in here, make my casing for the elastic, and then fold, close it up, and add the bottom part here. Once you're done, go ahead and insert the zip. So guys, this is what we have here. Like I said, all you have to do is just like how we attach together. I took the first layer, attached it to the bottom of this end here, and then I attached this one to this, and as you can see, I didn't pleat the upper one here. It's just straight, and then I attached this one. This one is the one that I gathered on top. So let me open it so you can see. You see, the one on top is gathered, the one below is just straight. The same for the waist part here. This one is gathered, the bodice is straight, just like that. Everything came back to the center here, and then joined to this zipper part here. So you see, everything came in here and formed this part here, this center line for the zipper. And then for the shoulder, in case if you're wondering, that lining part here, this lining that I used to turn over, I joined it to the shoulder when I was joining the shoulder together. Remember, we turned over this neckline first, brought out the piece that we're going to use to join this collar, and then the rest, this here, I sewed it towards the back. So this is the shoulder seam here before it joined the sleeve. That's this seam here. You see, the lining is held together at that point. So that's basically what this looks like at the moment. So you see, after that, I added elastic to the end here, added elastic to the casing that I have here, closed up the seam all the way down, joined the next one, and this is the back here. You see, my zip goes all the way to the collar, just like that, and then the collar has like this here, and then on the other side too. So that's basically it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Guys, please like, share, and subscribe. Bye.